All right, let us move ahead to Tanner Boser, who competed on this past Saturday's UFC Vegas 30 card in the co-main event. He stops Ovince Saint Preux in the second round. Back on track is the Bulldozer. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm doing all right, man. Thanks. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. Big finish, back in the win column. The 2-fight skid is now a thing of the past. Now it's a chance to turn it into a winning streak the next time you compete. Would you say there was a bit of sigh of relief on Saturday once the fight was over?
Huge relief, actually. Yeah, for sure.
So this was wild to see get put together because obviously OSP loses an opponent. You were put in there not long after. We learned you also got a 4-fight deal with the company upon agreeing to this bout, and you had just fought earlier in the month and you wanted to get back in quick. So from your end, like, how did this happen? Like, when did you know about it? What did you think of the opportunity of stepping in and fighting Ovince Saint Preux?
I ended up having about a week and a half notice because I got the call that it was possible on Tuesday, like a week and a half before. They said, "Do you want to fight Ovince Saint Preux next Saturday?" I said, "Yeah." And they said, "Kate, well, we'll ask him." And they said we've forwarded him asking about the bout, and should know soon. And then the next day, I got confirmation that it was a go. So that's all that happened. I got my manager to ask Mick Maynard for a quick turnaround and a fight soon, and they came through.
If you got to list like 100 names you could have fought, would Ovince Saint Preux have been on that list?
No, because I mean, he wasn't even in heavyweight technically. He just decided to come up and take the fight because he wanted to fight. And maybe I was the only guy that would do it. And he'd been at heavyweight not long before, and then he missed light heavyweight right after. So I think UFC had some kind of cause there to try and get him to go up to heavyweight for one. But credit to him for doing it and for stepping up a weight class to save his fight. And yeah.
I saw your interview with James Lynch, and because of how the world has been over the last 16 or so months, and you're dealing with it now back in quarantine, but you were still essentially in quarantine since you got back from the fight with Ilir Latifi. So what was sort of like the day-to-day like getting ready for the fight with the limited time you had before you actually headed out to Las Vegas?
None. I can't leave my apartment. So I just stayed inside, and I have a pair of 40-pound dumbbells and a medicine ball. And I live on the third floor. There's people below me. It's not like I can skip, you know what I mean? I can't hide. So yeah, there's not a lot I could do, but I just kept eating healthy, and I knew that I'd still be in shape. I train so hard all the time. It's not ideal circumstances, but I knew when push came to shove, I could go put in 3 hard fives if I had to. Yeah.
Did you go out like the Monday or Tuesday before fight week, or did you try to get it a little earlier?
I got off quarantine the morning of that I had to leave, so I didn't get to do anything. I got off quarantine and went to the airport.
Oh man. So and this was kind of a story heading in, and I don't know like how it got to be that way, and correct me if I'm taking it out of context. I wouldn't say you entered this fight with like a chip on your shoulder, but it seemed as if you welcomed the added pressure of the situation, if that makes sense. Like you had lost the 2 straight, you got the new deal. You wouldn't, take the new deal as a get out of jail free card. You still felt like, man, if I lose this one, my job is still potentially on the line, or at least in my next fight, my spot on the roster could be on the line. Like, is that the right way to explain it? Like, but the extra pressure, the stakes, if you will, did the fight week just feel different for you compared to maybe some of the others that you've had?
I don't know if fight week felt different, but you're right. There was a lot of extra pressure because of the spot I was in. Yeah, maybe there would have been a little bit of grace if I would have lost that one because I took it on short notice, maybe. But a new deal is cool and all, but you can be cut after any loss. So there's no necessary like 100% security there. So if I lost, then yeah, for sure. If I was given the good grace to be able to fight one more time, if I would have lost one after, then I'm out 100%. So I don't think I relished it. It's a bad spot to be in. It's not like I was stoked about it. It sucked. It's terrible to not know if you're gonna still have your job should things go sideways, but I salvaged it. And I know everybody liked the chip on the shoulder thing. Everybody kind of ran with that. I didn't really have a chip on my shoulder. There was a lot of pressure, and I needed to save myself.
Yeah, I think you just approached it with a very realistic view. Like anybody in any job that was kind of in a similar situation would look at each day that, this could be the last one. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just felt like you were real about it. I don't think like you were doing anything different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I don't really like to sugarcoat stuff. I keep it pretty straightforward, I think.
The fight begins. Ovince is a slow starter. He knows it. Everyone who's followed his career knows it. You took advantage of that. A lot of quick movement, hard kicks to the leg, hard kicks to the body. I know you probably weren't expecting him to just come out on fire, but did you think he came out slower than maybe you had seen in his prior fights?
I mean, he's had a lot of fights. So has he come out faster in some fights? I'm sure he has, yeah. But I mean, I'd like to obviously attribute that to what I was doing and not just say that Ovince was slow. Well, I mean, I came out firing, and I know I have a power advantage, and I think maybe he wasn't used to that. I kicked him pretty hard in the legs and pretty hard in the body pretty quick. Those were some hard shots, and it made him hesitant, and my movement made him hesitant. And I think it was a surprise to him that he's the light heavyweight typically, and I was faster, and that threw him off.
Did you feel like that was something you were going to have an advantage with even before you put pen to paper on this fight? Like you would have the speed advantage over him, even though he was a weight class below you?
Yeah, I already knew that. 100% I knew that.
So second round, he gets the takedown. He's inside control. He looked to be going for that, patented Von Preux choke that had been so successful in his career, but you were wise to it. You knew it was coming. You have to mind your P's and Q's in the situation, no doubt about it. But I don't know. To me, it just felt like the longer you were on your back and the longer you weren't in that much danger, the more your confidence started to build in that moment, which ultimately led to the finish. Like, is that accurate? Did you start to feel more confident, like the more time went by and the more that you were able to evert him from putting that move on you?
No, that didn't have anything to do with it. I just knew that he had a nice takedown, but I knew he used energy to get it, and it takes energy to keep me on the ground, because if you aren't expending energy, I will get up. So he couldn't keep me there forever, and then when I got up, he was tired, and he was also beat up already. I'd landed big shots. His legs were hurt. His body's hurt. And I just got up, and he was desperate. So then I could sense already that he's getting desperate. He started shooting desperate takedowns right after, and then I was able to finish him. I don't think it was because I gained confidence from not getting submitted or something. I knew not to put my arm around his neck. That's just what you don't do. Don't put your arm around his neck. It won't bother you. So
there you go. It was obviously a strange sequence of events that led to the finish, because on the broadcast, the whole fence gate BS, Jason Herzog for a moment thought you were part of that as well. Turns out you did not grab the fence. In fact, you may have revolutionized the getup in the heavyweight division with the way you used your fists to start the process of getting back to your feet. You eventually did, and that was a wrap. What's going on in your mind as the finishing sequence was happening? Like the 30, 45 seconds before that, like what is happening in your mind with all of this going on besides, I have a chance to finish this, man. I'm going to do it.
Okay, so let's call it Cagegate, not Fencegate. It has a better ring to it. None of that went through my head because I'm in a fight. I'm in a fight right now, and I just got to my feet. At no point did my brain register that Daniel Cormier is over there screaming, "That's bad," like 400 times. And I didn't hear his corner scream that I grabbed the cage until after I won. These things I realized after somehow it was controversial that I didn't grab the cage. And I hate that that's the main storyline from this, because I straight up beat his ass for the whole fight. And this is the narrative. Drives me nuts. I don't think I revolutionized the game, man. It's really, really straightforward. You can't grab the cage. You can't. But you can put your hand like this and post off the cage. If I'm the only one doing that, then everybody else is really, really dumb.
It was nice to see you vindicated, though. Like, you didn't do anything wrong, and people immediately thought, because of how the broadcast was portraying it, that you grabbed the fence. And then once we saw the replay, there was no fence grab. Like, did that even affect you? Like, does the vindication even matter at this point, since you didn't do anything wrong to begin with?
like I said, it's annoying, but I won, and I won fair and square, and I had a great performance, one of the best ones of my life, probably, against a guy with a pretty big name. So, no, it doesn't matter. All of those dumb opinions don't matter. Just like when you lose, the same people that are just, talking shit, they don't matter either. It's whatever. You win, you lose. People are going to find something to talk shit about. Is it annoying that the broadcast was so adamant that I grabbed the fence, and they kind of created that narrative? People are impressionable, and when they hear the people who talk on TV say something, they believe them. So is it annoying? Yeah, I guess. But I mean, my win bonus is going to be in my account in a few hours.
There you go. So it doesn't really sting at all that there was any controversy. I mean, it's annoying, but in the end, again, you got your second half of your paycheck. You went home with a win. That's all that matters at this point. Nothing else.
That's all that matters. Yes.
So now what do we do? Because you finished the Latifi fight. You want to get right back in there. You got right back in there. You got to finish. It was definitely one of your better performances of your career, and you've had some damn good ones. What do we do now? Like, do you want to smell the rose a little bit, or are you hoping that like that phone rings as soon as possible and you can get right back in there?
Well, I have a couple of weeks now in quarantine, so I will have basically spent 6 weeks now without a training camp, because I will have went to fight Latifi, had that week of, fight week where you train lightly, get a sweat on, blah, blah, blah. 2 weeks of quarantine after, another fight week that I trained a little harder at once I was at the PI, because I hadn't been able to train before. So blow your lungs out a little more, but still it's not that hard training. And now I got 2 more weeks of quarantine. So that's 6 weeks of not training, really. So I got to get back to training now. And in 2 weeks, like when I can. And then I got to train for a bit before I fight again, because at a certain point, it just becomes foolish. So I'm going to get back to training. I am going to enjoy a little bit of my summer. I'll look to fight in the fall, I think.
How does Tanner Boser enjoy a summer when he doesn't have a fight on the books? Like, what are some of the things you're going to do with the nicer weather?
I like to go. I like to go to the mountains once or twice. To Canmore area. I love it there in Alberta. I'm from Alberta, but Canmore's about a 5-hour drive from Edmonton, and I love it there. I like to go home a bunch to Bonnyville, see my family and some of my friends. Probably go to the mountains with my girlfriend, and probably go back to Bonnyville and see my family, go fishing a little bit. Nothing too crazy, but just a little bit where I don't have a fight impending, so I can, have a few beers and chill out a little bit. Not for long, just like a week or two, and then get back to full training. I'll still be training those weeks, but have like the weekends off kind of thing.
Were you bummed there wasn't a Monster can up on the desk when you were doing your post-fight scrum? Like, what was that all about?
I don't know. It's just water in a Monster bottle on the table. I don't know what the point of that is. I don't know what they're promoting. Water. Just water.
I thought that was hilarious. You're like, what is this? This is unbelievable. Last thing for me, before we came on here, there was some big news that happened in the UFC's heavyweight division. We found out that Cyril Gane, a prior opponent of yours, is going to fight Derek Lewis for the interim heavyweight title on August 7th. Were you aware of this news? And if so, how do you react to this surprising revelation?
I just found out about it, actually, right before I got on the call with you here. Yeah, that's a wicked fight. It's awesome. Good fight to make, honestly.
Are you surprised that they're doing the interim thing now, since after Francis won the title 3 months ago?
I don't know why there's an interim. I don't know what the circumstances are. It's like, why is Francis hurt, or does he want? I don't know what's going on. I mean, I assume there's a reason, but either way, I like Gane versus Lewis. I think that's a great fight. I don't really care to get into the politics of the fight game that don't directly concern myself.
That makes a lot of sense. How do you like? I mean, I know the fight just got made sort of official like an hour ago, so not a lot of time to like dive through tape and take a gander at it. But just kind of looking at it, seeing the names on paper, how do you see that one going down? Like, are you leaning one way or the other?
Well, I'd lean towards Gane, but I mean, I'm biased. I fought him and he beat me like convincingly and fair and square. I think the guy's the real deal. But Lewis can one and done anybody. That's why it's such an exciting fight, and it's going to be 5 rounds. So if Gunn doesn't capitalize on something and put Lewis away, that's just a little more time for Lewis to find him. So that's a great fight, and I'll definitely be looking forward to watching that one.
There you go. And last thing from me, what sort of sticks out for your next move? Like, I know you want to enjoy your summer and come back in the fall, but is there any sort of name that sticks out to you that you want to get in? Not like a trash talky kind of way, but just this would be a fun fight. This gets me a step closer towards my goals.
Yep, Big Ben.
That's the fight I picked for you too. I like it. Why Ben? Just because it makes sense, or is there like a stylistic, sort of perspective to it that sticks out to you?
No, it's just we're in the same boat, because I asked for Jared Vanderaa and I got a laugh in response just like he did. So I figured me and Big Ben are in the exact same situation here. I don't know what's up, but hey, we're in the same boat. We'll fight over who's the captain.
That's crazy. Yeah, I like the Vanderaa fight too. I hope you get the Big Ben fight. I think that one makes all the sense in the world. But Tanner, I appreciate it, man. Great performance. I thought you looked sensational. Way to bounce back. Congratulations on the new deal. Congratulations on the finish. And we'll talk soon, man. Enjoy quarantine and enjoy your summer, my man.
Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate the time.